Hey guys, it's Yusafa. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a short video that's going to be covering the upcoming banquet that's going to be happening in about 2 days. So I think it's actually quite timely. But before we get started, we got a quick disclaimer. This video is about understanding game mechanics. It's not an encouragement to spend. Please don't open crystals, especially in bulk, if you're not in the financial position to do so and comfortably afford it. This game should be fun. It should not be stressful, and no digital reward is worth real-world financial pressure. So with that being said, please consider hitting like, subscribe as you watch this video. Math hat on, emotional spending hat off. Let's get started. Okay, so Kabam just released today the information with regards to the drop rates within the Superior Banquet Crystals, and you might have seen through previous posts in the pre-mortem that Crash sent out, as well as what's happening in game right now, that Kabam is saying that the Jubilant drop rate in the SBCs is 7.77%. And if you hear 7.77, you naturally think, cool, that's about 8 per 100 Jubilant crystals that I'll get, or about 78 per 1,000 SBCs that I open. And that would be true if it were a normal random drop. But guess what, guys? It's not. So here's the part that most people skip, Grandmaster's Grace. Now, we've seen Grandmaster's Grace a lot, especially in the Valiant Crystals, Valiant Champion Crystals, as well as the pre-release bundles. We've seen that happen. But with the Grandmaster's Grace with those guys is every 100 you open, you're guaranteed the 7-star. Here, it's 15. So if you open up 14 with no Jubilant Crystal, then the 15th one is guaranteed to be awarded to you on that 15th crystal. So with only 15 crystals in that Grandmaster's Grace, it really accentuates the power that Grandmaster's Grace does give to the spenders and to the people who actually open these crystals. So on 14 SBCs in a row, you get nothing. On the 15th, you're guaranteed a Jubilant. So it's not a lot, no luck, no maybe. It's actually guaranteed. And at the moment you get a Jubilant, whether it's random or it's the guaranteed Grandmaster's Grace Jubilant Crystal, the pity counter system resets. So the system basically says you can get unlucky, but only up to a point, which is actually really nice. So if you're opening, say, 20, 50 SBCs, you might not trigger the pity system ever. You may just be lucky enough with the RNG. In that small sample size, your results can look pretty close to 7.77%. You might get none, you might get a few, and both will feel like the game is trolling you personally, which, to be fair, is the core MCOC experience. Now, let me show you the graph that explains why whales and casual players argue about this every year. On the bottom is how many SBCs you open. On the side is the average Jubilant drop rate so far. This isn't a single opening. This is a running average across multiple runs that I've done in my tool. So early on, you see the line sits around 7-8%, which makes everyone go, yep, that seems absolutely normal. But as you open more, the line starts bending upward because the pity system starts to kick in and fire. Now look at these points. So around 300 SBCs open, it jumps up to around 10.97% from the 7.77, which is already a huge jump, and that's after 300. At 500, you're looking at it's now crossed the 11% mark, and at 800, you see it's pretty much leveled out at 11% for those Jubilant crystals to be dropped. And at 1,000, it pretty much reaches the limit, and it's around 11.404, 11.06 is where the system actually starts to limit out. So after 1,000, you're pretty much guaranteed an 11.06. So at 1,000 SBCs opened, you're not getting 77 or 78 as advertised by Kabam with that 7.77 drop rate. It's around 110 and 111. It's not a rounding error. That's just a different mechanic in how the math works. So here's the simple explanation. Over a big enough number of openings, long dry streaks are guaranteed to happen. And every time a long dry streak happens, the game forces a Jubilant crystal. So at small sample sizes, you're mostly seeing the 7.77% roll. But at large sample sizes, you're seeing the 7.77 roll plus the forced payouts. Important caveat before the comments light up, if you open up a small number of SBCs, your personal results may not look like 11%. That's just normal variance. But once you open hundreds, you definitely once you open 1,000, the system runs out of places to hide. So once you reach that 1,000 SBC rate, you're going to see much more than a 7.77% drop rate for those Jubilants. So no, Kabam's not technically lying when they say 7.77%, but the practical reality with Grandmaster's Grace is the effective Jubilant rate at scale is about 11%. And so that also means that every other reward in that payout pool where the Jubilant Crystals reside is getting slightly diluted to make room for those extra Jubilants. So you're going to see the percentages actually back down once you start running a bunch more crystals, opening a bunch more crystals to make room for those extra Jubilants. So yeah, so whales and casual players aren't seeing different luck. We're just playing, two different games. The casual spenders are opening few, while the whales are just opening mass at scale. So if you want, once the banquet drops and we actually see what the individual amounts and payouts are for the Jubilants as well as the SBCs, I can run some more math for you guys. Just let me know what you want to see in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Fly smart, spin smarter, and always, I'll see you in the next briefing.